I am about to address some things as the supervisor. There will be no comments. There won't be anything. It'll just be me addressing you guys, tell you what's going on.
It's so weird. It really is like the whole country's hypnotized. And I just think this is a perfect storm of things that are happening all at the same time.
Get ready, because things are about to get wild. We're heading to Dalton, Illinois, where Mayor Tiffany Henyard is embroiled in a political storm that just keeps growing more complicated by the day. If you thought local politics couldn't match the drama of a reality TV show, think again. This situation has more twists, turns, and shocking moments than anyone could have predicted. And to top it off, Joe Rogan has jumped in, taking this small-town scandal to a national stage. Let's unpack the chaos that's unfolding.
Tonight, Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard is suing some village trustees over Monday.
For those who aren't familiar, Tiffany Henyard made history in 2021 as Dalton's first female mayor, quite the trailblazer. But instead of leading the town into a new era of calm, she's now facing serious accusations that put her leadership under scrutiny. And this isn't just typical political bashing. Henyard's been accused of intimidation, threatening residents, and even hiring one of the most controversial attorneys in the country to defend her. It's starting to feel more like a plot for a Hollywood villain than a small-town mayor's story. The situation took a dramatic turn when reports came out alleging Henyard wasn't exactly treating Dalton's residents with respect. Disagreeing with critics is one thing, but allegedly threatening them, that's a whole different level. Word is, Henyard directly warned residents who spoke out against her that there would be consequences. Let's take a step back. This is a public official, someone elected to serve the people, yet instead of engaging in dialogue, she's reportedly trying to silence her critics through intimidation. Sounds like a classic power play, doesn't it?
2 meetings in different locations. It was a little confusing for some residents, but the meeting here at Village Hall canceled after a few minutes because they didn't.
And these threats weren't just empty words. According to some residents, things have been escalating in more troubling ways. There are reports that those who've spoken out against Henyard have found themselves under increased scrutiny from local authorities, though it's not the kind of attention anyone would welcome. Imagine raising concerns about how the town is being run, only to suddenly find yourself facing extra scrutiny from the very people who should be serving you. Is this all just a coincidence? It's tough to say, but it's certainly raising a lot of red flags. That's why the outrage is building. People are demanding answers, wondering if their mayor is pushing boundaries that no public official should ever cross.
An investigator, I've got some books as super mayor. Inside I have from the United States District Court, Rogan District.
And just when it seemed like things couldn't get more intense, in comes Joe Rogan, turning the heat up even further. Yes, that Joe Rogan, whose podcast commands millions of listeners. When Rogan takes notice of something, it's guaranteed to grab attention. This time, he didn't hold back. Rogan called out Henyard's actions as a glaring abuse of power, specifically pointing fingers at her alleged threats toward residents. It's not every day a local mayor ends up on Rogan's radar, but when a high-profile figure like him speaks, it's bound to spark conversation. And that's exactly what happened. The drama surrounding Henyard just went from local scandal to national headline, pushing the entire situation into the public spotlight like never before.
People be what's running the thing. We're letting the thing be run by the people that are in power that are corrupt.
Rogan's criticism wasn't just about calling out Henyard's behavior as a politician. It was about warning against the broader issue of power being abused. He stressed the dangers of elected officials misusing their authority, especially when they're supposed to be held to the highest standards of integrity and accountability. That message clearly hit home with his audience, and it sent ripples far beyond Dalton. Henyard, who might have assumed this would stay a local issue, now found herself in the national spotlight with her every move scrutinized. But it's not just Rogan making noise. Residents in Dalton are speaking out, and their fear is palpable. For some, Henyard's threats are no longer seen as idle threats. These residents claim that speaking up against the mayor has led to real consequences. This isn't just political drama. It's about people feeling genuinely intimidated and silenced by the very person who's supposed to represent and protect them. The situation has escalated beyond mere allegations into a genuine community crisis.
Judge today declining to hold her in contempt, but did warn her that if she did not follow the ruling, he would.
The atmosphere in Dalton has become one of constant tension, with residents feeling as though they're being watched or silenced for speaking out. Reports of increased scrutiny from local authorities and subtle forms of intimidation have only fueled the growing fear of retaliation for those who challenge Henyard's leadership. It's not just a political issue anymore, it's personal. One resident's comment sums it up. This woman needs to be thrown in jail now. The frustration is clear, and the sense of betrayal among the community is overwhelming. People are demanding justice and accountability. If these allegations are true, it's not just a matter of poor leadership. It's a deep-rooted abuse of power that borders on corruption. The question now is, how much longer will Dalton stand for it?
Very appreciative to receive the information today. We have the best mayor ever. I've been here since 1990.
Bringing in Bali as her attorney raised more than a few eyebrows. This isn't just any legal professional. He's the kind of lawyer who has a reputation for being tied to high-profile, often controversial cases. His role in defending R. Kelly's former manager, among other notorious figures, instantly puts him in a questionable light. Bali has been accused of witness tampering, bending legal rules, and defending clients with reputations far from spotless. So when Henyard decided to hire him, it was hard not to think there was something more to it. For many, it felt like a strategic move, aligning herself with a lawyer known for handling scandalous cases and pushing boundaries. The public's reaction was swift and harsh, with many wondering if Henyard was trying to cover her tracks or prepare for a serious fight in court. Either way, her choice of legal representation only deepened the skepticism surrounding her leadership. Exactly. Henyard's choice to hire Bali has raised a ton of red flags. Why go for a lawyer with such a controversial reputation, especially when there are other legal professionals out there without such a questionable history? It's hard not to wonder if this is a calculated move to fortify her defenses in ways that might not be entirely above board. Given the gravity of the accusations against her, from abusing power to allegedly silencing critics, it looks like Henyard might be gearing up for a fight on multiple fronts. But hiring a lawyer with a track record of bending the rules, that only feeds the suspicion that she's trying to cover something up. The whole situation just doesn't seem to add up, and it's leaving a lot of people with more questions than answers.
It's shameful. Y'all are a disgrace.
We're watching the fall of this administration.
The response from Dalton residents has been entirely negative. People are left confused, trying to make sense of what's happening in their town. Some are even questioning Henyard's judgment, with accusations that she used taxpayer money to travel, party in Vegas, and bought a brand new Tahoe for $150,000 using public funds. Anyone who opposes her faces the threat of eviction and having their business shut down. These aren't just casual complaints. These are serious allegations that depict a leader who has completely lost control. With each new revelation, it seems Henyard is only digging herself deeper into trouble. What's truly shocking is that Henyard's former legal team just abandoned her. That's right, they resigned, citing financial pressure as the reason. Can you imagine being in such deep controversy that even your own lawyers decide to walk away? Well, that's exactly what went down. Now, with Bali stepping in, the stakes have never been higher. People are keeping a close eye on how this unfolds, but let's be real. Things are not looking good for Henyard.
There is a new legal battle brewing in Dalton between the mayor and some village trustees.
As Regina Waldrop explains, it has a lot to do with 2 meetings held earlier this.
But let's go back to Bali for a moment, because his role in all of this is crucial. This is a lawyer who's been involved in some seriously controversial legal cases, and his methods have often raised doubts. There have been accusations that he coached witnesses, tried to manipulate the legal system, and even took money from clients without fulfilling his obligations. If this seems like the kind of attorney who thrives in controversy, that's because he does. And now, with him representing Henyard, it only adds fuel to the fire, making everyone wonder what her next move will be. What's even more intriguing is the timing of all of this. Henyard is already under investigation for financial mismanagement, with reports emerging that she's been using taxpayer money for personal expenses, luxurious trips, high-end purchases, and extravagant parties, all at the public's expense. It's not a good look, to say the least. As more details emerge, things just seem to be getting worse. And then you throw Bali into the equation, and it's a recipe for disaster. People are questioning why she'd bring someone like Bali into the fold at a time when she should be focused on clearing her name. Is she relying on his aggressive tactics to help her ride out the storm? Or is there something else going on, something we haven't seen yet? Speculation is running rampant, and honestly, it's hard to figure out what her endgame is. But one thing's clear, Henyard isn't backing down without a fight. Let's not forget, Henyard has been under fire for months, long before this latest scandal. Her tenure has been marked by chaos, board meetings erupting into shouting matches, allegations of unethical spending, and now this mess. It seems like every few months, there's another headline about something going wrong in Dalton, and Henyard is always in the thick of it. For someone who came into office with high hopes, she's managed to turn everything upside down in record time. Now with the FBI reportedly involved, the situation is on the verge of reaching a whole new level. Subpoenas are flying, and there's talk of a federal investigation into her finances, political committee, and even her inner circle. You'd think this would serve as a wake-up call, but Henyard seems to be doubling down. She's insisting she's the victim of a smear campaign orchestrated by her political rivals.
It seems like they're just leaning into it. Like there's no course correction at all. Just leaning into the kooky. Yeah. Fun time.
It's certainly a bold move, but whether it's the right one is still up in the air. What's clear, however, is that Henyard's decision to hire Bolly has only stirred up more suspicion. People are more skeptical than ever, and the questions are piling up. Why would she hire someone with such a controversial background? What does she believe Bolly can do for her that others can't? And, perhaps most pressing, what is she hiding? As the scandal continues to unfold, Dalton's residents are left to wonder what's next. Henyard's critics are demanding her resignation, saying she's lost the community's trust and it's time for a change. Some are even warning that if she doesn't step down, she could face serious legal repercussions. It's a tense situation, and it doesn't look like it's going to settle down anytime soon. So, what do you think? Is Henyard fighting a losing battle, or is there a chance she could come out on top? Should public officials be held to a higher standard, or is this just the nature of politics? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments.